You're listening to
Split the Defense.
Leafs Post-Game Edition.
Split the Defense.
Is presented by the Forest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004. Serving the Kingston and surrounding areas. Alongside co-host Craig Pearce and producer Ted Evans, here's your host, Jordan Webster.
Yeah, I'm Webby with CP and producer Ted. We're here on Split the Defense. Leafs post-game. Leafs lose 4-2 to the Edmonton Oilers. Lots of Leafs fans in attendance, though, hearing dual chants all game.
Yeah.
Nice to have a little bit of a home-away game there. Before we get into this, boys,
Isn't it
drop
always?
a like on this episode. Subscribe to our YouTube and rate it 5 stars on whatever podcasting platform you're consuming from. Please just take a second and drop a like if you're listening.
Goes a long way.
So the third time in 4 games blowing a multi-goal lead, third straight game blowing a third period lead. In those third period leads, they were blown late in the last 3 games. 3:25 left to go against the Avalanche, 1 minute and 40 seconds to go against the Red Wings, and now 3 minutes and 5 seconds to go against the Oilers.
And wasn't the Islanders didn't they blow that one too? But in the second,
Oh, yeah. They just they didn't even get a chance to blow it in the third. They blew it in the second.
It's just worse.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a fun game, I will
Yeah.
say.
Entertaining.
I mean, Matthews had another goal. Riley got another goal. Riley's been having a great season. Hyman's disgustingly... Oh, man, what a goal. It didn't count. They called it back and they challenged for offside. But Hyman scored a beauty of a goal that didn't count. Draisaitl's goal was weak-ass to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Fucking
poorly
Jones
played
should
by
add
Jones.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, Ryan McLeod takes over the game somehow, and that's the end of the game for the Leafs. Derek Ryan ties it, Ryan McLeod wins it, and Bouchard ices the cake with an empty netter. What a start, what an entertaining game. Probably, like you said to me in message, the most fun game of the Leafs to start this year, because we are absolutely robbed of Connor McDavid. You know, Nate McKinnon, I don't think he has it against the Leafs like Connor McDavid does. You can just see he wants to win so bad. And you know, the battle between him and Matthews tonight was so much fun to watch. The Oilers were actually trying to take McDavid away from Austin Matthews because he was stifling all of McDavid's efforts, right? McDavid couldn't get anything going against that line. It was he was getting chances,
period.
but they were always breaking it up. They always broke it up. He couldn't finish. He just couldn't finish. There were sticks in the way. There were people in the way. There was bouncing off of feet. It just wasn't working against them. It was really fun to watch them. And Matthews, what a beauty goal to start the game.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Skinner caught way out of position. It was in the net before even Skinner reacted, basically. Quite the play to start off. As soon as Marner had so much space, he had 5 seconds to decide what he wanted to do with the puck. And so, Skinner had to respect Marner, and basically, it was in the net before Skinner could do anything. So nice goal. Holmberg too had something to do with it, but it's funny when you remind me of these things that were good in the beginning. I'm sitting here not even thinking about any of those, so it's a little bit of a reminder.
Yeah, it was good. What's your initial reaction? Is it did you learn anything from this game? Do you feel any different about the team after this game?
I don't know. I wanted to come into this feeling really positive. Today when I was talking to some of the guys, I was I'm really worried because I don't want to be super depressed tonight and tomorrow. And now I'm just last few games I was pretty mad, and I'm just feeling I don't know. It might be because I'm tired and it's late at night, but I'm just feeling sad about this team, really. And also just to come up with solutions other than to just repeat what I've said is it's hard. I'll do that a bit today, I'm sure, but I don't know. Initial reaction is hard, I feel we deserve better than this. I don't know. I just like it's not just that things aren't bouncing right, you know? Like I just feel like it's more than that. It's like a bit of an identity, a bit of a lack of effort. I got mad at Willie so many times tonight, even when we were winning. So, yeah, that's my initial reaction.
Yeah, there was lots to talk about tonight. The first thing I want to get into is the lines.
Yeah.
We had a line shake-up putting Holmberg on that top line with Matthews and Marner. Marner gets to play with his favorite player, so that's pretty awesome. I like Nyes, Tavares, and Nylander. I really like that line, and when I seen them out on the ice, I thought they worked well together, and there could be something there. What did you think of the Nyes, Tavares, Nylander line?
They did pretty well. Nyes, to me, just there's something going on with him. But I felt like the line they did pretty well. Nyes, I don't know what's up with Nyes. I felt like there's just so many times where he made kind of like a really poor play, poor decision. Like it's even like just everything seems to be going against him. Like I'm not even trying to say that it's his fault. Like even like a dump in, like he tries to like go around Nurse and there was like a clear path to the net and he just like took the wrong way, and so like he was never getting to it. Like another one, he just fell in his own zone, just like no one around him. And he's standing still too. It's like he twisted an ankle and he just falls down. I was like chips out of the zone too. I don't know. Like there's something up there. So like as soon as he like finds it again, like he just needs a couple points, I think, and he'll be right back like where we were praising him earlier in the season. But yeah, like I do like that line. It's not very different than what we've seen because I feel like, you know, Nyes and Bertuzzi are similar but different. I don't know, like I feel like they provide the same thing, just one's a little harder on pucks and the other one's a bit more of a playmaker. And so like I would have wanted to see actually Bertuzzi up. I know that everybody's in love with Holmberg at the moment, but I didn't quite love the whole jumble that he did again tonight. But yeah, I don't hate that line, and you can interchange. If you put Tavares and Willie on a line, I feel like you can interchange that left winger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you should be able to.
You mean a jumble as in how much he shifted the lines tonight?
Yeah, from like the last game, and then now it's different from like what we saw last game as well. So
and even in game tonight, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 variations of the forward lines tonight.
Yeah.
And you know what's hilarious? The fourth line of Bobby McMahon, David Kampf, and Noah Gregor played 6 minutes and 4 seconds together, so actual time. The only other lines that played over 2 minutes that did well, and they were leading the team in expected goals for in that category. For people who played more than 2 minutes together, it was our fourth line. The JT line, they had 53%. So like we were right, like you're right. They were okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody really did well tonight. And he tried to mix things up a lot in game. So we had McMahon, Kampf, and Gregor, Yarncroke, Matthews, Marner, Nyes, Tavares, Nylander, Gregor, Kampf, and Yarncroke, Holmberg, Matthews, Marner, Bertuzzi, Tavares, Nylander, Bertuzzi, Domi, Yarncroke.
Right. Yeah.
So there was a whole bunch of variations of the team tonight, and you know, like the thing about the Toronto Maple Leafs is okay. And if you're listening, I know deep down in your soul you're going to agree. It is so reactionary. Whether it's the management, the fans, the team, the coach, you look at another team that I watch all the time, like Colorado. They have a tough stretch. And they don't do shit, right?
Right.
They leave their top guys with their top guys. They might shift bottom sixes around and
shuffle
around with this and that, but they leave the guys with the guys, right? And once they find something that works and they win, I think most of the time they stick with it. Now, I don't catch every game, but I go back months later and I'm like, I remember this line.
Yeah.
Why are we constantly seeing him switch these things up and change these things, and how much is that fucking with everybody's game, trying to know where this person's going to be, because everybody plays a little bit differently and everybody has different tendencies. And if you're constantly being switched, you have so much information you have to take in, not only about the other team and how they play and where you should be, but now you've got to remember where this guy that you're playing with now just tonight is going to be. you got to think about, and he's not very good at this, so I have to cover on that. Or, like a guy that you're like, oh, no, he's good in the corner. Give him more space. I need to back up because he's going to chip the puck out. Or another guy, he's going to pin it in and he wants me to take it out. Like, because you guys, you're going to know different tendencies for different players. And when you keep fucking around with the lines like that, how much is this Sheldon Keefe? Man, I'm getting to a point. CP.
You joining? Yeah, you joining me?
Is Keefe in the hot seat, John? Keefe's in the motherfucking hot seat.
Yeah.
I think
With me, John.
I mean, for us, anyways, like, we're not upper management, but, like, I can't be the only fucking guy seeing this. Like, no, I need, like, I pay a lot of attention, and I look into stats, and I listen to a lot of conversation, but I don't own the fucking team. I don't manage it. These guys have to see there's a problem. Right?
Yeah.
The people who do have to see that there's a problem with what's happening here. Well, and you can't just trade away all the guys. I think the only bullet that you can fire right now is fucking Sheldon Keefe, and he's not even a bad coach, which is the worst part.
Right.
The thing is I truly believe that the management has a lot to do with these line switch ups, and in the past, Keefe has had to walk back a lot of comments that he says. And it's almost like he's been slightly encouraged this year to be a little bit more vocal, and we've really seen that the last few days. So I feel like he's he's being kind of directed. This whole team is kind of in this Shanna plan. And so I don't think that you're gonna that he's the only one that's making these decisions. Everything is kind of being run by a lot of people. This team's not run by one guy, And so that's my thing. What's this?
Banned from Reddit. You can't fire him before the All-Star game. No, you're right. That's the worst fucking part. And like I said, he's not even a bad coach, but what are you going to do? What is there to do? I mean, at this point, you have to see that there's a problem here and there needs to be a mix-up. And you're right with the line shifting. It probably could have come from management. I've heard that suggested multiple times, that it's come from probably management has put their fingers in this and said, you need to change things because it's not working. And it's just not working. I know you can't do it right now. When is the right time? Right after, when you're right before the trade deadline and you're pushing for a playoff spot, or right before the playoffs, or in the offseason after you fucking bailed out in the first or early in the second? Come on. When is the time? There's really never a good time.
No, there's not. There are certainly times where you don't want to do it. It has to be really drastic if you're doing Christmas? It on a road trip. Yeah, but even on a road trip, that's even a big move to do it then. I could see it coming home from a trip. All-Star weekend coming up. You don't want your players having to answer those questions at the media. So
CP, do you think if this road trip goes poorly, Sheldon Keefe's done when they get home?
I don't know. It's so hard for me to say because he's just so new. It's hard for me to just say that they're gonna fire him, and I think that he deserves it because, I've seen it in the chat here. The players have given up on him. So I don't know. He's not getting the reactions in normal circumstances. If we hadn't had a GM coach that had just given him a new contract, I'd say that 100% sure if it didn't go well this road trip. But there's just so many weird circumstances, even just with this team. I still don't even know if the management's just kind of seeing how this year goes, just how it is, and reevaluate because it's their just Brad Treliving's first year here. It's a hard scenario to read. So I want them to do it. I really do.
What do you
I
do
think
next?
It would matter.
You just lost 4 in a row. What the fuck else do you do next? That's what I'm saying. I know it's not logical. I know it's not opportune. But what the fuck else do you do? If they drop 1 more in a row, we're really going to be losing it. 6 in a row. If they drop 6 in a row, CP, God forbid that happens. What?
It's not
then
playoff.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, then what, right? So then we're good enough? Okay, so now we've gotten so far that it's fucking compromised our season. Now it's okay to fire the coach, even though it's right before the All-Star break or it's whatever. There's never going to be a good time. At some point you have to make a decision. And what do you think that is? Do you think that's 5-6 games? What if it's on the road at that point? Because they're on a 4-game road trip. They have 2 more games on the road, right?
it has a lot to do with the other teams. If they fall out of a playoff spot, the city's gonna want to like burn down. So I feel like that would be a moment where like that could be the time. But like, yeah, I'm just so like I'm so contradicting myself. I have to think about this more. But like my evaluation is that they should. I'm just not confident that they will because like I don't know. Change is a
it's
hard
not
thing to come
logical.
by here. You know.
Yeah,
Just
you're
seems
right.
like we're always doing the same thing. So to fire a coach halfway through, that would really show me that like this is a new management, new style, and has more of the reins. But if they're just gonna ride it out, like I guess if there was like an ultimatum, it would be like 10 games. Like I don't know. Out of a playoff spot seems alarming to me though. So I don't know. 10
An
games you'd have
ultimatum.
to, right?
You gotta lose 10 games in a row. You gotta be San Jose Sharks bad before you're gonna fire the coach. Like that's
just
unacceptable
so-
for a team that has Austin Matthews and just paid William Nylander
It is
$11.5
sad,
million
yeah.
to go win them a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
There's
I
not
just, like-
one player that makes double digits on the San Jose Sharks right now. They
Yeah.
can lose 10 in a row. There isn't a fucking chance in hell it's okay for the Leafs to lose 10 in a row. And I don't think that number's 10. I think it's 6, I think. We're at 4.
We're
I
at
think
4?
6, and it gets
Yeah.
really, really fucking interesting. After 7, man, we're going to be like, maybe it'll happen. But, in a couple games, wake up to Sheldon Keefe has been relieved of his duties, and Guy Boucher has been named intermittent head coach. Like, I'm not fucking kidding you, man. This can't go on very much longer before something changes. But, hey, maybe they win the next 2, and that'll balance things out, right? But if
Yeah.
they can't get back on track, the next couple of games we come in here, we're going to be losing our fucking minds about what they can change. And at this point, I'm sold on the fact that it's got to be Keefe. No one trade is going to solve this team. You can't just trade away a member of the core.
No,
It's gotta be
It's
the
a new mentality that's needed. So, like, yeah, I've been wanting Keefe to be fired for like multiple seasons now. So maybe I'm holding off on saying that they will because it would feel way too good for me. Because it's just like I just hate the players coach thing. Like I that's not my style at all. And so like I want a guy who can hold someone accountable, and not a guy who's just pretending to do that like Keefe seems to be. Like he's a player's coach. Don't get it wrong. Whatever he says in the media, like that's not what he's like behind closed doors with the top stars. So like I don't know. I would love for like Berube to be the coach here or something like that. Like that would be way better for this group, I think.
What's with the mandate on accountability bullshit that he fed us? What's with the mandate on team toughness bullshit that he fed us? A nurse cross-check on JT tonight. We get a penalty, power play. Great, that's awesome. Why wasn't the team in there all over? Why didn't somebody go and rough up nurse? Like, why isn't that the mandate now like it was before? We saw it for a few weeks. That's on the coach. He's got to go, and he's got to go and get somebody's ear, and he's got to say, go do something stupid. I'm sorry, but go do something stupid. Take a 2-minute. I don't care. Do it. Get noticed. And Bouchard cross-checks Nyes. He fucking takes his lunch. He takes the puck from him, slashes him, then knocks him over, and then slashes him. He falls over at the blue line. Then Nyes skates towards the net, and he gets cross-checked in the back. No calls.
And what he do is he looked at the ref. Like I hated that play. Just don't look at the ref. Just go and do something about it. And if they call a penalty while you're heading his way, then yeah, lighten up so you don't take another one. But like stick up for yourself. I hated that. And first of all, when the stick gets slashed out of his hands, like it's pretty light too. Like hold on to your stick. And then he goes to go grab it. He's taking his time, and now he's behind the play, and they almost get scored on because he's out of position. Like it was Bouchard that almost scored. And then he comes by and like kind of puts himself in there, and then gets made a fool of by getting cross-checked and then looking at the ref like, help me, daddy. Like I couldn't stand that. I just like do something about it. There's also a part of it where yes, the star player should be stuck up for, but like stick up for yourself if you're someone like Matthew Nyes. Like you're huge too. So like I don't know.
He is just a kid. You have to
I
take
guess
that into
so. We've seen him in a fight, and he seemed to like it. So that just seemed to be the end of that, though, from that point forward.
Yeah, that's fair. What was the date that Nylander signed his contract?
Like
I'm
4
not
games
sure-
ago.
Yeah, because I'm not sure he's gotten a fucking point since he
10th or
signed that
11th or
contract.
Man, I've
Willie
seen
Nylander has been terrible. That's a fucking understatement. He's
Yeah.
gotten 4, 5, and 6 shots on goal. He is increasing. He is creating. He's hit a few bars. but he
Yeah.
needs to produce. He's not making that money yet, but he signed that deal. And we all expect that from him now. Everybody. It's going to be inside the organization, the fans. Is Willie expecting it too much from himself? Is it the new contract performance anxiety thing? What's going on with Willie, man? Like 4 games in a row, no points, after he has games before that with 3 assists, 2 goals and an assist, a goal or an assist, 2 goals. Like,
yeah, there were times where we were calling him like the best player, in the world, in the CHL at times. Like he was doing really well.
I don't think I did. I don't think I did. But
Webby
that was me.
Very hard on that. Webby was very strong on that claim, and I always.
I'm a William Nylander truther.
But
this does scare me though, because like he's been performing to try and get a contract, and as soon as he gets it, like I hope this isn't foot off the gas from him. I hope it is new contract anxiety. But there is too much. Like I am seeing like 2 year ago Willie that just seems to float around after he loses the puck. Not skating back hard. He seems to always be the last guy in. I shouldn't say always, but a lot of I've seen it multiple times, and so I'm worried, and I've been really scared for this time. Like this is why we didn't want to give him an 8-year contract, is because like we wanted him to see the next contract in sight. But I don't know. This is like I'm worried. Like I'm putting a little light actually too.
As much shit as we talked about, like saying you can't give him an 8 because he's not going to perform and all that. When he signed that day, we were all thrilled.
Oh yeah.
Right? We were all happy he was staying. And nobody thinks about the 8 until 4 games later when he doesn't have a fucking point yet.
I mean, we talked about it. There's no way. We had a conversation about it. There's no doubt.
We did, but we were happy about it. Like, I mean, sorry, I'm not going to, I think generally the vibe through the show was that we were happy that Willie was staying. 11.5 was the number we expected, and 8 years it is what it was. Right. But like, it doesn't really come to fruition. You don't think about things like that until there's no points in 4 games. And then they're losing. If they're winning and they're doing fine, like I just don't understand. Another knock on Keefe here, just to touch on that really quickly. The Nylander line looked good at first, right? I said that at the beginning of the game. I thought the Nylander line looked great. Nylander hasn't scored a point in 4 games, and John Tavares hasn't scored a point in 5 games. When the fuck did Matthew Nyes get his last point?
A longer time than that. Yeah.
That's not a good second line.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like you got to ride the hot hand still. You know who has been really, really good for the Toronto Maple Leafs? Max Domi. He's been really, really good at creating. He's been involved. He's been a guy that you're finding on the score sheet more often than not. It's not every single game. He's not world beating, and he doesn't dominate. But he's been chipping in.
Was Calle Yarncroke going to be your center on the third line then?
I don't give a shit. William Nylander, because he ain't fucking scoring. He can run a line.
Yep.
No, he's our shutdown centerman. Nice.
Yeah, well, shutdown. That's hardly been a shutdown.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in a perfect world, you run a superstar top line and a shutdown secondish type line that gets all your other minutes. And then you have a third scoring line and a fourth line of specialists. Right? PK guys, power play guy maybe. But that's not how this team's built. That's just not how it is right now. They have to do what they have to do, and I don't think it's a fucking smart decision to look at your lineup sheet and go, okay, this isn't working. Nobody's scoring. I'm going to put 2 guys that aren't scoring at all together again.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
I vouched for that. Like we had that in Colorado, the struggle line. I came up with.
Oh yeah,
You
right.
put those guys together, and sometimes they find that because they're just like, okay, here we are. We started from the bottom. Like
now we're here.
Yeah, you get them going.
Oh,
you get them
God.
going together.
Or they just stink.
Yeah, or they just
that
suck.
happens too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably more likely than not too. Yeah.
Okay. So I think I've only got one more thing, and that is Simon Benoit tonight is needed. He needs a contract. That man needs to be a Maple Leaf. He is the epitome to me of what it means to be a Toronto Maple Leaf. That man throws his life on the line day in and day out for this team. He fucked up tonight. He made a pass off McCabe's skates that left the puck right in the slot, tie slot, with Connor Brown coming down. Luckily, it was Connor Brown, who also hasn't fucking scored in a long time.
Yeah.
Right? Any other player, I don't know if there would have been such hesitancy to shoot, and they might have got it off quick. I don't know. But Benoit went full charge, laid out, and got the puck off Connor Brown's stick. I love Simon Benoit, and I hope he never sits another game when he's healthy for this team. I hope we never look back and go, Simon Benoit's playing like shit, because I love his game.
Yeah, I don't remember a game where I haven't loved his game. And that's my favorite thing about him. Is he's basically, since the day he showed up, I loved his attitude. He didn't quite do the things on the ice that he was saying he was going to do. But after being down and being injured actually, and then going down the Myers, coming around, and I've basically loved him since he's come back, since we've had injuries. So I would give him a contract tomorrow, no question. I don't know what that contract would be. That's kind of for a guy that's been playing so well, I don't think he would want to sign a contract yet. He would want to prove that he does it for a full season, and then someone's going to give him a lot of money. I hate this game, man, where we just play at what point is a player too good to be on our team? And
yeah, I know that sucks. You want him to be good, but not too good.
Yeah, right? Hyman was too good, and we couldn't afford him, and then he became amazing.
Which is fucked, because he makes $5.5 million, and guess how much Tyler Bertuzzi makes this year?
Yeah, insane. And he might he's on pace for over 50 goals,
55 fucking goals or something. Don't get me started with Zach Hyman.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the one that got away. I do have one more before we go, and it's a tweet from @mostlyleafies, and it says, "We ever gonna call McDavid for holding the stick when he's carrying the puck? He does it every single game, and it's illegal, buddy." You notice that? Because I've never noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed it a couple times tonight, and even he was actually skating up the ice holding Matthew's stick, they're skating side by side. He's still holding it. Yeah, that's a thing he does.
Oh yeah, here for you.
Yeah, so you can block the stick, and I see a lot of players do that, right? As long as you're not wrapping your whole hand around it. But he toes that line, no question. Yeah, that's not a penalty I'm never ever screaming about. I don't know. I feel like it's never really the reason, unless they do physically grab it and stop you from slashing anymore. But I'm not too upset about it. I just couldn't get over McDavid. We do not see enough of this guy. I think you mentioned that right off the top. I just was so impressed with his eagerness to win this game. He just was a man on a mission. I was scared of him the entire time. I couldn't believe that the Leafs were winning when they were. I know that they played decent to start the game, but he was just the best player I know he's the best player in the league, but by far. And Zach Hyman, not too far behind. Leon Draisaitl, not too far behind. We've been really getting a taste of the star players in the league. It's when we played against McKinnon and the rest of the Avalanche stars, they just show up so much, and we lack that. So yeah, I'm not a fan of really anybody at the moment. I love that you mentioned Simon Benoit, because that's basically the only guy I'm really happy with. McCabe destroyed a guy tonight. Loved that. Yeah, but the rest of it sucks.
Over here,
this team sucks. I need to go to bed.
Yeah. All right. So is that it for you there, CP?
Yeah, I could complain about so much more, but yeah, we'll save it.
All right. Well, they at least have 3 more games, just to go back to what I said. They thought they had 2 before they go home. So whether or not they fire Sheldon Keefe, it'd be a reactionary move. But I think if they lose all 3, it's definitely a conversation that's had throughout Leafs Nation, throughout the media, and probably throughout the organization that becomes a serious one. But hopefully they don't lose. They're playing Calgary next. They continue their 4-game road trip against Calgary on Thursday at 9. And as always, we will be here post-game to chat with you. That's a wrap. Thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting, and hit that like button if you haven't already. Please and thank you. Subscribe on our YouTube. Rate us 5 stars anywhere else. Find us on X at STDP and search for Split the Defense anywhere else on socials. Until next time, peace.
Peace. Peace.
You've been listening to
Split the Defense.
LEAFS Post-Game Edition. Hosted by Jordan Webster, Craig Pearce, and producer Ted Evans.
Split the Defense.
Is presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004. Serving the Kingston and surrounding areas.